So in this video, we are going to perform the addition of vectors using the parallelogram method. And as you can see, we have a given here. Our given are 500-meter east and 300 meters north. So basically, we are going to set an appropriate scale to the two givens, and then we are going to perform the graph. So now if I will going to set a scale for our two givens, I will set that and every 100 meters I will set that it is equal to 1 inch. So therefore, if we have a 500 meters, so it is equal to 5 inches. And then if we have 300 meters, so therefore it is equal to 3 inches. So this will be our scale for our given. So next is identify which a vector to draw first. So basically, obvious naman na yung 500 meters will be our first vector and our second vector will be 300 meters kasi yung 500 meters is nauuna naman doon talaga sa problem, sinundan siya ng 300 meters. So basically, 500 meters or equal to 5 inch will be our first vector, and then 300 meters will be our second vector. And now we finish to set a scale and to select which vector to draw first. Again, our 500 meters here will be our first vector and our second vector will be 300 meters. So basically, magdodraw tayo ng Cartesian plane para mag-graph ang dalawang vector. And now we are finally draw our Cartesian plane. So basically, we are going to draw the first vector. So our first vector is 500 meter east. So basically, ito yung point of origin. So going to east. So dito yung east. So dito tayo mag-draw ng vector. So as you can see, 500 meter east will be 5 inches. So use a ruler to measure the 5 inches along with the point of origin going to east. So we are going to measure a 5 inches. So use a ruler to measure 5 inches. Dito yung 0. So may tapat ng point of origin. And then hanggang doon. Ito yung 5 inches. So basically, idadot natin. And then draw the head of our first vector. So basically, this is the head of our first vector, and then this will be the tail of our first vector. So since that it is a parallelogram method and it is known as a tail-to-tail method, so meaning sa tail ng first na vector tayo magdo-draw again ng another na vector. So from the tail of the first vector, so dito natin sisimulan yung tilde ng second na vector. So yung second na vector will be measured 300 meters north. So sa north, ayun yung north. So here, from here to north, going to north. So yung measure, yung scale ng 300 meters will be 3 inches. So use again a ruler to measure 3 inches. At yung direction niya is papuntang north. 0 and then 3 inches. So, ayun yung 3. Ito yung 3 inches. And this will be the head of our second vector. Now we finished to draw the head of our two vectors. So the next is to construct the parallelogram using the two vectors as a side. So basically, i-label muna natin para hindi kita magtalang kung sino do first na vector. So this will be our vector A and this will be our vector B. So now we are going to draw a copy of a parallel lines to its opposite side. So basically, from the head of our first vector, yung opposite side niya is yung B. So basically, kung ano yung measurement ng vector B, ito rin yung magiging measurement ng parallel lines ng vector A. Same as for vector B. Kung ang opposite side ng vector B is vector A, so basically kung ano yung measurement ng vector A, yan din yung magiging measurement ng parallel lines from the head of our vector B. Now from the head of our first vector, we are going to make a copy of a parallel lines na nakabase yung measurement sa vector B. So kung yung vector B kanina is 3 inches. So basically, from the head of our first vector, we draw a parallel lines na 3 inches. So ayun yung 3 inches. I-dot natin para maging base. This is our 3 inches. So next is to make another copy of parallel lines from the head of our vector B or second vector. So basically, yung pag-measure nito, yung measurement niya is nakabase sa measurement ng vector A. So yung measurement ng vector A is 5 inches. So basically, mag-measure tayo ng 5 inches from the head of our second vector. So 5 inches from the head of our second vector. And then we'll make a broken lines or parallel lines. So finally, we draw a parallelogram of our first vector and the second vector. So to determine the resultant, we basically draw a diagonal lines kung saan yung broken lines na nagmet from the point of origin. So, i-measure natin yan from the point of origin na wherein yung tail ng dalawang vectors and then from the broken lines na nagmelt to each other. So, kung ano yung magiging measurement from the tail of our two vectors and then from the broken lines, yun yung magiging resultant natin. Now, let's see kung ano yung measurement ng resultant vector natin. So, 0 dito going to the broken lines. So, as you can see, it is 5 inches. So the measurement of our resultant is 5.8 inches. Doon na lang sa taas. So our resultant is equal to 5.8 inches. Now our 5.8 inches is hindi natin yan susundan as our resultant vector kasi nga our given kanina, the units of our given are 500 meters. So basically, yung 5.8 inches, we are going to convert that into meters. So to do the conversion, if 'di ba kanina, we set that in every 100 meters, it is equal to 1 inch. So therefore, x dito kasi hinahanap natin yung conversion ng 5.8 inches. So over to 5.8 inches. So cross multiply 100 meters or 100 times 5.8 inches will be 580. So 1 times x will be x. So our resultant will be 580 meters. So now we finished to determine the magnitude of our resultant. So again, the magnitude of our resultant is not 5.8 inch or 5.8 inches. It is 580 meters. It is 580 meters. So now to determine the direction of our resultant, we were going to use the protractor kung i-measure natin kung ilang degree yung resultant vector natin. So basically, always remember that if we're going to measure the direction of our resultant, it is always along with the x-axis. So ito yung x-axis natin, east papuntang west. So basically, dito tayo magme-measure ng degree kung ilan yung degrees ng resultant natin. So we are going to put the protractor along with the point of origin na kung saan yung tail ng dalawang vectors is nagmet. So dito, saan yung 90? 90. And as you can see, the degree of our resultant vector is 30 degrees. So, and the direction pala is going to north of east. So, this is 30 degrees. So, for our final answer, our resultant is equal to 580 meters, 30 degrees, and the direction is north of east. So that is our resultant vector. So this is how to perform our parallelogram method. So again, parallelogram method, this is known as a tail-to-tail method. So yung tail ng first na vector at yung tail din ng second na vector is connected to each other. And then we draw a parallel lines from the head of our two vectors. At kung yung parallel lines is nagmet, dun tayo magme-measure from the point of origin going to the parallel lines na nagmet. So yun yung magiging resultant vector natin. So in a parallelogram method, this is applicable to two vectors only.